Welcome back to For the Culture podcast, and we are here with special guest Jay from the 93706. Man, my neighborhood. Hopefully, it's your neighborhood, and man, we so happy to have you on today, man. How you doing today, Jay?
I appreciate it, man. I'm just comfortable. I'm happy to be on somebody else's podcast. I haven't podcasted myself in a minute.
Yes, sir.
So this feels like it's familiar territory, but I haven't had like a chance to share my thoughts and my creativity in a while. So thank you for giving me the platform to do so right now.
Oh, man, we appreciate you coming onto this platform, man. I know how busy you are, how important you are to the many in the 93706 and all the things in which you do. So, man, tell us a little bit about Jay and 93706.
Well, I just came back from doing 3 basketball games. I officiate high school basketball.
Okay.
So that's where I'm coming from. Well, I went home and then came, of course, I had to freshen up. But
yes, sir.
So I do that. I officiate high school sports, football, basketball, all the way down to the youth.
Wow.
All the way down to the youth.
Okay.
I create content. I do a little streaming.
Yes,
I've
sir.
done some podcasting. Like I said, I haven't done it in a while. I do videography. I've always been a creative person.
Yes, sir.
And I've aged out of rapping.
Okay.
So I just started doing this. So that's pretty much,
Man, you dropping some bars on us right now.
Yeah. And rapping doesn't have an age. So I felt like I aged out of rapping. Like I couldn't say the things I want to say anymore on record, based on the things I do for a living.
Right.
So
right. Well, man, bro, you don't look that old, so you definitely ain't aged out.
No,
So,
I'm 40 years old, so I think if you're still trying to make it and you haven't gained any traction at 40 and you rapping, still rap because creating is cool,
right.
but you might be a little bit behind the needle as far as like chasing it as a career.
Yes,
but
sir.
Creating in general is still fun. You find satisfaction in just creating a product.
Man, there it is.
I do, at least.
So, man, what part of 93706 you grew up in? And let's talk about some schools you went to.
I'm from Poppy. Meaning I don't gangbang, but that's where I'm from.
That's
Anybody
right.
who knows me knows where exactly I live.
Right.
I went to Kirk Elementary.
Okay.
I went to Edison. I
The
graduated from Cesar Chavez though.
All right. Ain't nothing
So
wrong with it.
yeah. But those pretty much my areas. Church and Elm area. California to Jensen.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Over
Man,
there,
we were
over
just
there.
talking about that church in
Yeah.
there not too long ago.
Yep.
Wow. So, man, growing up in Fresno, what that mean for you?
Growing up in Fresno.
Yes, sir.
Underappreciation. People sometimes don't know how great they are because they underestimate themselves as well as where they're from. They're thinking, okay, I'm big in Fresno, but how can I do in the big city? And if you know anybody and you follow, that's a lot of times I've seen people go to the big city and thrive.
Yes,
Because
sir.
in Fresno, it teaches you how to make lemons out of lemonade. Like
That's
we
true.
don't have the most, but we work with what we got. So when we go somewhere where there's so much opportunity is plentiful, we pretty much take advantage of it because we've done so much with so little.
Yes, sir. No, you 100%, and I could definitely relate to that. Man, so earlier you just talked about your podcast. I mean, let's jump into that a little bit. What got you to become a creator and doing a podcast, and what was some of the hot topics?
Like I said, I used to rap. I used to make music. I started making music when I was like in the 7th grade with my boys. Shout out my boy Mike the Most, 730. We will record ourselves. We were just young kids just trying something out.
Right.
We ended up making, a name for ourselves locally. I did that all the way up until probably about, I think the last time I really, really recorded something I was serious about, I was like 27.
Okay.
And Diego Red, shout out to Diego Red, he happened to hit me up and was like, I want to put this group together and do an album. So at the time I wasn't even rapping.
Right.
But Diego is someone who inspired me, so I was down to just do it just on the strength of him asking.
Wow, man.
So after that, I just went years and years without creating. So I remember during COVID,
Yes, sir.
we all have free time, and I was just sitting around thinking like, I got to do something else. I work so damn hard, but I got to do something for myself.
Right.
And I thought like, what could I do? And I thought about making music again, but it just wasn't for me. So I watched tons of YouTube. Like I don't even watch Netflix. I don't watch cable. I watch YouTube. When I go home right now, I'm gonna turn on YouTube and whatever my algorithm tell me to watch, I'm gonna watch it.
Okay.
So I started just to figure out, okay, I want to do a YouTube, but what kind of YouTube do I want to do?
Yes, sir.
So I tried doing reactions, like sports stuff. I kept getting struck on YouTube for using like ESPN highlight clips. So I thought I couldn't do that. Then I got a couple cousins.
Serious.
Yeah, I got a couple cousins who are just, their personalities are larger than life. So I figured, me and them two
Right.
together, we could figure something out. So we did it for a while. And we still probably end up doing it, but it's just like they got their own life, I got my own life. It's hard to kind of get people to commit to something if you're not putting no money in their pocket.
That's true.
So they committed enough to show me that it could be done.
Yes, sir.
And then I did, I've done hip hop podcasts. I've done just interviews. I just got a bunch of different stuff. I just be throwing stuff on the wall, see what stick.
Right.
And right now I'm working on some videography right now. DJ Alex Liddy Tunes. We got a thing we're working on called Behind the Booth. And we're gonna get into that. Yeah, and I just do the videography. He's the star of the show. And I'm one of those people who, like, I don't have to be in front of the camera. I could be behind the scenes. I know how to produce.
Yes, sir.
I don't have to be the focal point.
Yes, sir.
So he's the star. I'm just somewhere pressing buttons, making sure everything run correctly.
Yes, sir.
So that's where I'm at now. That's the most reoccurring thing that I'm doing right now is behind the booth.
Okay. All right, Alex, man, I'm letting all the listeners know we got to get that behind the booth. Culture.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we got to do that.
For sure. For sure. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that, actually. And so, man, Jay, let's talk about some of the, you've also known being involved in the community, right?
Mm-hmm.
Having a big heart, wanting to see the best come out of 93706, which I appreciate and honor you for. And so, man, what are some of the events that you've been a part of? And if you could also speak about, what's in the mix that's coming up.
Okay, so I want to shout out Syrup and from Breath of Evolution.
Yes, sir.
Which I've recently been invited to be a part of.
Okay.
And I want to shout out Dakari Cleveland from the Alley in the Valley. And like I tell them, when it comes to like community work, I'm just an Indian. I'm not gonna spearhead a charity.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna get with the chief and be a good Indian.
Yes,
and
sir.
help them push their movement. So when it comes to the Breath of Evolution and the Alley in the Valley, I feel like I'm a member of the Alley in the Valley.
Yes, sir.
I'm not, but anything Dakari's doing, I would help if I could.
Yes, sir.
And I just recently actually just did a stream at his fashion show.
Okay.
Free of charge. Just showed up, just add a different element to it.
Yes, sir.
Covering that. And I mean, I just try to do what I could.
Right.
Like I'm not gonna act like I'm Mother Teresa's little brother or somebody like that. But I do
Might be
care.
the nephew.
I do care about my neighborhood. I've been living there for 30, 35 years.
Yes, sir.
So I just try to do what I can for people who may need it.
Yes, sir.
Just bringing more visibility to what they're doing.
100%. Well, I see, in regards to Alley of Valley, that was a fashion show, right?
Correct.
And I see, you wear one of the designers. Hoodies.
Oh, yeah.
Man, let's talk about that.
Oh, yeah. Shout out So Fresh De Niro. I mean, you should. Have you hollered at him?
No, I haven't.
If there's anybody else that you haven't hollered at,
right,
you gotta holler at him. Him and his dad.
Okay.
Him and Big Doug. I will holler at them. But this is
oh man.
Yeah, this is To the Bag Clothing.
Okay.
Shout outs to So Fresh De Niro.
To the bag.
To the bag. And he's somebody like, Fresno's so small. I've seen him around for years.
Yes, sir.
His crew, my crew, whatever, we know a lot of the same people, but that's where I really got a chance to I didn't even meet him there. I just did some content based on his clothing brand.
Okay.
He just liked what I did and he just shot me a little care package.
Oh,
this was yeah. He came delivered it right to my doorstep. Man.
Wow, to the bag.
Yep.
Man, So Fresh De Niro.
So Fresh De Niro. Yeah. He's probably one of my favorite content creators in Fresno right now.
Okay.
Yeah. And he really just does reels that promotes his clothing line.
Yes,
so,
sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Man, we definitely got to get So Fresh De Niro.
Yeah, get him on here. Absolutely.
Yeah.
ASAP.
100%. Definitely ASAP. And so, man, what's next for Behind the Booth? Besides culture, we're going to get Alex on the line here soon. He been dodging.
We got some places we talk. Alex is busy. I'm busy.
Yes, sir.
This basketball season, so I'm reffing basketball 6 days a week.
Okay.
Sunday I'll party and do whatever. So he every weekend he's doing something. So we really hopefully we could lock in and tighten it up and get it a little better. It's cool now. I like the results that we had so far, but we can do better. It's just I know he's so busy. If he's not DJing, he's promoting the party or doing both. So hopefully of course he mentioned you guys to me. He said here. It's another location I'm not gonna name that's pretty big, black owned. He mentioned we got some people who got nice houses.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That want one in.
Nice.
So it's really about finding a weekend because sometimes he'll want to do it, then I'm like, oh, I'm out here. Then other weekends I'm free, like, oh, I got this going on. So it's really about us finding like weekends where we're both free.
Okay.
To where we can get it done and get it done.
So we just need to get to the calendar.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And man, so Jay, anything you would like to share with the community that, should be aware of that may be coming up? I hope to see you at the Black Expo event on the 21st.
Okay.
At Granite Park. But man, what else can you share?
What else could I share to the community? Man. I got some. Let me get it all. Let me put it all like in just in one bowl. It's like scatter right now. Like I said, I got so much.
It's all good.
I don't want to get to talking all over the place, but really, like I'm for the creatives.
Okay.
And what I do, like I said, I find satisfaction in just creating.
Yes,
like,
sir.
of course, if I could make some money, that'd be great.
Yes, sir.
I've tried to help people who I think can do it without even charging them.
Yes, sir.
So what I want to say is, people, like I said, you don't always got to be the focal point. You don't always got to be the rapper. Sometimes you read better and speak better than everybody else. So maybe you should be the manager.
Yes, sir.
Maybe you should be the DJ. Maybe you should be the producer. Everybody don't have to be the rapper.
Man,
and I'm saying this to the young crowd because that's what I do it for, the youngsters.
Yes, sir.
Like I said, I was rapping when I was a kid, and I wish there was an adult older than us.
Yes, sir.
That could have came and like got us together and put some structure to us. Because we sometimes, our egos will clash.
That's true.
And we were talented, but we just didn't understand business. Like making music we got a lot of people who could make the product, but it's the business side that we struggle in Fresno.
Right.
So we got the talent, but we need the people who can do the work on the back end.
100%.
So speaking to the youngsters, like
to the youngsters,
if you believe in your boy or your homegirl or whoever, and you got the sense, you got a sound mind. Like I said, you could read.
Yes, sir.
Well, and you could speak and you could understand and read and learn the business, in and out. Man, be that manager, be that business side. Because it's a lot of, I see a lot of young, talented, my thing is rap. So that's why I keep going back to rap. I see a lot of young, talented rappers. They just lack that business end. Right. And some of the guys who I have seen made it, they do have older people above them who kind of like help them out and just put those pieces together,
Yes, sir.
So, but there's a lot of youngsters who just don't. All they got is just their homies, and their homies really ain't. It's hard to tell a 21-year-old to be Russell Simmons, or Steve Rifkin, or Dame Dash.
Yes,
it's hard to, at that age to see that. But I think there's people who are capable. Everybody don't got to be Jay-Z. Some people could be Dame.
100%.
Or you could be a Baby or somebody like that, or a Tony Draper or something. Everybody don't have to be 8 Ball or Lil Wayne.
Right.
And those people usually outlast. Baby 100%. Is still Baby. Lil Wayne is Lil Wayne, but his career is almost, Baby is still Baby. Baby's been Baby. So you don't always got to be the focal point. Sometimes the guy in the backdrop lasts longer than the person in front of the camera.
Most of the time.
Yeah, most of the time, exactly. You never know. So Lear Cohen's still around.
Right. He done
seen so many come and go.
That's true. That's true.
So,
Man,
that's
Jay,
all.
you dropping gems on
that's all.
Today.
I want to say so much more on that topic, but I tried to put that in such a small, compact speech. Yeah.
So, man, what's going to be the hottest high school game you're going to officiate that everyone should?
My season almost over. I used to be a guy who did the big games.
Okay.
But post-pandemic, I just changed who I was. Like, I don't even shave no more. Like, if y'all ever notice, you go to a high school basketball game, the guys be clean shaved and groomed well. Like, I just show up and do my job and go home.
Right.
So the biggest game I've done this year is probably Clovis West and Kingsburg at Clovis High. That was probably one of the biggest games. Garza, Fresno High was pretty big.
Wow, Garza?
Yeah, Justin Garza. Okay. They pretty solid. The best game I got coming up, I got Edison Bullard at Edison.
Oh, that's a rival.
Speaking of a big game, shout out to Chiz, shout out to Coach Hamilton. So that should be a good game for me.
It's gonna be a real good game.
Yeah, close to home. Yep.
Wow, man, here we are. So, man, any gems you'd like to leave for the people?
Some more?
Yes, sir.
The pyramids.
You got them today.
The pyramids weren't built in a day. That's my slogan. Don't take it. But I'm gonna drop that on you. Take from that what you can. The pyramids weren't built in a day. So
that's deep.
Yeah.
Man, y'all hear it from my man Jay from 93706 here.
Westside JJ. I'll make it clear it's Westside JJ.
Westside JJ. I apologize, Jay.
93706.jj. Style. That's how it's stylistically spelled. JAY 93706.jay. So, but that's Westside JJ.
We could click that in. We could type that in. That's how we
anywhere.
Can get your socials.
Yeah.
Okay.
More importantly, Instagram. Yep.
Man, well, hey, I'm looking forward to getting on your podcast.
Man, if I start one, I'm gonna do a stream soon.
Okay.
Like I'm in the middle of something right now, and I'm trying to get that figured out. So as soon as that's concrete, I'm gonna start streaming.
Okay.
Because it's a little more simple. Podcasting is tough. Like I've been the guy who brings all his equipment and loading it up. Shout outs to the production team. That is, bro, the
Right.
edit, that takes a lot of time and hard work, man.
Oh,
So I'm trying
man,
to simplify
no
it. Streaming ain't easy either, but if you have a space and you have good enough internet
Yes,
and
sir.
you know what you're doing, it's a lot easier than bringing, all this stuff and setting it up. Hell of a
That's
lot
true.
easier. Yeah.
Man,
So
you
shout out to
good.
the production team. I know what goes into that, for real.
Man,
Because
we
I do that too.
appreciate
Yeah.
y'all.
Yeah. Shout outs to y'all.
Appreciate y'all
Yeah.
big time. Well, man, here it is. We got
Westside JJ
Westside JJ 9
from Pyramid Prestige, Westside Fresno. You know what it is. 559.
all day, every day.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, baby. Thank
Yes,
you
sir.
so much.
Yes, sir.
And look forward to that behind the booth.
Yup.